What's up, CS Nation? It's your boy, Jordan CS No here, and welcome back to another cringy ass video on the dark web. And today, you guessed it, Sony fanboys. Specifically Foxy Games UK, who you might remember a while back I made a video on discussing his absolutely terrible take on why Final Fantasy isn't on Xbox. I'll link that video in the description in case you haven't seen that one and would like to check it out. But today we're discussing yet another terrible take. This time about The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which I haven't really spoken about on this channel, mainly because I kinda just don't give a shit. Like, I was aware that it was a cash grab from the fucking start, and that they were just gonna sell you the exact same thing for more money. They did it with Demon's Souls, and they're doing it with The Last of Us Part 1. And I was proven right when leaked gameplay from the remake came out, which just showed that it was basically the same thing with upgraded graphics. So in other words, it's basically just a $70 reskin. But anyway, the video we're going to be looking at today is titled The Last of Us Remake and God of War Ragnarok versus the Hypocrites of Social Media by Foxy Games UK. And no, I'm not actually going to be talking about the God of War Ragnarok stuff, because I care even less about that, and, like, it's a sequel, okay? So anyway, without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Must I really do it? Fine.
Now let's talk about The Last of Us Part 1 remake on PlayStation 5, also in development for PC. Yet another targeted PlayStation IP. It's becoming an ongoing trend, isn't it?
Well, maybe if PlayStation didn't constantly make anti-consumer decisions, they wouldn't get as much criticism from their audience.
Last week or so, I noticed the fake outrage, pseudo-controversy, and uninformed rhetoric coming from the Lonely Hearts Boy Club with their desperately seeking Susan attitude, their Karen-level attention-grabbing nonsense.
Yeah, that's right, guys. If you're unhappy about Sony's anti-consumer decisions, and them trying to sell you the same game again, for a higher price, while offering up pretty much next to nothing new, outside of presumably better AI and graphics, then you're a Karen. I mean, bro, if we're Karens, it still beats being a Sony pony. It honestly amazes me that these people are just this okay with Sony fucking them over. In fact, not only are they okay with it, but they'll literally defend it. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
And the only way they can get it is to tweet stupidity, spread falsehoods, and use old-ass pre-alpha footage in an attempt to diminish the quality of the game and the hard work of all involved over at Naughty Dog Studios.
Yeah, I don't think it was the graphical enhancements that people took issue with. I think it's more the fact that they're selling you the same game from 8 years ago, with little to no improvements outside of graphics. And they're expecting you to cough up $70 for it, which, by the way, is more than what the original game cost.
So then Sony goes and releases a 10-minute trailer, which you can see playing right now in this here video, detailing the vast improvements made to the game since the original PS3, the standard but enhanced PS4 version, and now remake PS5 release due early September of this year. Visually on par with the phenomenally realistic looking sequel, with added physics and destruction, significantly improved character models, animations, lighting, resolution, frame rate, you know the works.
Yeah, but does it warrant $70 for that stuff? Like, all the things you just mentioned are things that pretty much every single good remake of a game does. And usually without asking for $70, or in other words, more money than what the original game cost in the first place. Like, if the game cost $60, it would have been fine. But the fact that they're charging you $10 for pretty much the same shit is unacceptable. Like, how do none of these ponies see that that's a bad value exchange?
Now, if you are like me and you picked up all versions of the existing games, I totally understand your reluctance to part with $70 or 70 UK Great British pounds for the remake, but again, it's not a huge problem to solve now, is it? Simply do not buy it if it's not worth the money to you.
Yeah, guys, if it's not worth the money, just don't buy it and stop complaining about it. That way we can teach Sony that overcharging for their games is completely acceptable. What about people who don't already own The Last of Us? Let me guess, we're just supposed to wait 3 months until it goes on sale. Although honestly, I find this whole if you don't like it, don't buy it argument to be really hypocritical on the part of Sony fanboys, since they'll say, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Meanwhile, they'll make 10 videos about how they don't like Xbox. Like, guys, if you don't like it, don't buy it.
It's all a matter of perspective. It's a value-based proposition.
One where you clearly don't value the money in your wallet enough.
In that, how much do you value The Last of Us series? If you think the game is overpriced for what you are getting, well, that's the asking price. Buy it or leave it alone.
Well, that's just the asking price, guys. Just don't buy it. It doesn't matter that this, sets a horrible precedent for the industry or anything like that, showing that they can overcharge consumers. If you don't like it, just don't buy it. Honestly, Sony fanboys have got to be some of the biggest corporate meat riders on the entire internet.
Wait for a sale.
Yeah, guys, just wait for a sale so that you can get the game at an actually fair price. I mean, it's not like the game should just be priced fairly in the first place or anything like that.
Look, I love The Last of Us. And for me, $70, £70 is not that much of a stretch.
And neither seems to be that 9 inches that Sony are giving you here.
Would I prefer to pay 50 or heck 40? Sure. But I don't approach BMW or Mercedes showrooms and complain its prices do not align with what I think the vehicles are worth.
Honestly, can Sony fanboys stop trying to do analogies, because it's really not their thing. I mean, a more accurate analogy here would be them attempting to sell you an old BMW for the same price as a new one, just because it has a shinier coat of paint on it.
I don't go to steakhouses, eat the steak, then when presented with a bill complain that the steakhouse across the street charges me less and gives me more, therefore you must lower your price for me.
Yeah, analogies really aren't your strong suit. That one's possibly gotta be one of the worst, if not the worst, Sony fanboy analogy I've ever fucking heard.
I mean, some idiot who I shall not name went on trashed The Last of Us remake, yet praised Grand Theft Auto 5, a game with 3 iterations across 3 generations of hardware with no significant change to actual gameplay, only aesthetics, really more pleasing to the eye, with updated PS5 DualSense control features, what have you, which is pretty much what The Last of Us remake is offering.
Yeah, the thing is that Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 5 only costs $40, not $70, not even $60, so really it isn't fucking comparable. In fact, that actually works as a counter-argument to your entire video, considering if GTA 5 is doing the same thing and charging $30 less, why the fuck can't Sony? Congratulations, you played yourself.
At the end of the day, week, or month, I only pay what I think something is worth, and the sheer amount of work that has gone into The Last of Us Part 1 remake cannot be understated. I watched the trailer multiple times and I concur it is a phenomenal improvement over The Last of Us PS4 Pro remaster.
Yeah, they improved the graphics and pretty much little to nothing else. I'm not sure I would call that a significant improvement over the last remaster or remake of this game.
I'm not here white knighting for this game, it doesn't need me to do that.
And yet you are here doing exactly that. White knighting over this game.
So it's definitely a day one buy for me, because I think owning this game at £70, although I'd like to pay more.
Honestly, now I just feel bad making this video. Like, I'm pretty sure it's gotta be against YouTube terms of service to make fun of people this mentally challenged.
Well, it's worth it, but not at any price. I think $70 or Great British Pounds is an absolute limit for me.
How much do you want to bet that when Sony decide to charge $80 for their games, this guy's gonna be one of the first people to defend them?
Had they charged, let's say, $100 for this game, well, I wouldn't be buying it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would buy it at that price. Actually, no, I can think of a few people who would.
So would I like to pay less? Sure.
I mean, dude, if you want to pay less and you want more value for your money, come over here, brother.
Who doesn't want to pay less? I mean, I'd like to pay less for a night out. I'd like to pay less for a car. I'd like to pay less for flights, for gas, for food, for clothes. Everybody would like to pay less.
Well, you know, if you don't like how nights out, cars, clothes, and gas are all priced, just don't buy them. Because remember, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Meanwhile, these fuckers will continue to complain about Xbox.
So spending $70, 70 Great British pounds is not worth it to you on any level. Let's stick to Gamepass and PlayStation Plus, Extra or Premium or whatever. Don't buy a thing. Shut the fuck up and enjoy those part of the subscription entitlement games you will receive. And quit arguing with people willing to pay the price. Willing. People supporting their favorite game series.
Yeah, guys, just stop complaining about how much of a ripoff this is, because there are actually people that are willing to buy into the ripoff. Like, dude, do you not see that there is absolutely no reason for Sony to be charging $70 for this game? Like, I really gotta wonder what Sony ponies have against getting more value for their money.
That contribute. The games that actually go into Game Pass or PlayStation. Let me repeat that. These people who are willing to pay the price, supporting those game developers in order for them to make more games, are the very same people who are contributing to games that actually go into Game Pass or PlayStation Plus in the future.
Yeah, you know who else contributes to these games coming to Game Pass? The people that buy Game Pass. Like, I really don't get the fucking point here. They're also supporting the developers by playing the game on Game Pass, mainly since they get paid when people play their game. But also, just because you're the one paying the price for these games, doesn't mean that the price can't be cheaper. Like, honestly, what do these fanboys have against getting more value for their money? Anyways, video is practically over from here, so, you know, that's where I'm going to be ending today's video. If you did enjoy, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, why not subscribe? Turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter, @JordanCSNo, subscribe to the second channel, JordanCS2, join the Discord server, the CS Nation. Links to all of those will be in the description. Please don't send any hate over to Foxy Games UK, it's really unneeded. But that's all for today's video, so until the next one, I'm Big Chungus. That was just fucking cringe.